Welcome. Probably should have done that before starting, but hey, welcome. Welcome to the Ectoviolence channel. Welcome to Gruesome Tuesdays. This is episode 2 of Gruesome Tuesdays. A new thing I'm doing, going live on Tuesdays, discussing whatever. Today it happens to be Twin Peaks. Welcome. Let me know if you're there in the chat. I will be responding to things, questions. I have answers for them. But today we're talking Twin Peaks. It is, February 25th, 2025, entering the show of Twin Peaks. Anyway, I figured I would show off some of my Twin Peaks stuff, my collection, the physical media stuff, anything I have that I think's worth showing off, talking about. So that's where we're going to start off until I get any sort of questions, any sort of other stuff to go off on tangents about. So let's start. Recently I did a video that was pretty successful, one of the most successful videos on the channel, comparing the Twin Peaks Gold set to the Blu-ray set, which is this one specifically. This was the first one I bought. It's actually pretty worn, you can see, because this is, what I most often watch. Hello, Ben. What is going on? Welcome to the show. Let's see here. All right. So, in this video, though, I talked about all the different stuff it came with. It's one of the cool things about the gold set. If you get one of the older sets, at least one of the original ones, you get these postcards in here. And there are, let's see, they're numbered. They're like card 39 of 61 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm assuming everybody got 12 with their sets. If you have this, chime in below. And Yoshi's deciding to join me on my lap here. Anyway, take a quick look at some of these. Some of them are worth framing. Like, that's nothing too crazy. Shelley, though, we all love Shelley. Come on, let's be honest. Matchinamick. Denise, like, I'll frame that. It's cool to have these with the set, too, but I'm the kind of guy, I'm never going to get rid of this set, so may as well frame it. Anyway, quick flip through some of these. I'm not trying to bore you all night or anything, but they are pretty sick. Also, an ad for David Lynch coffee. I have a couple of those in other David Lynch DVDs I have. Now, I did also release today a Twin Peaks character tier list, if that's kind of something you're interested in. It's about 45 minutes. And what's funny is there's a whole tier dedicated to characters that I either don't remember or I don't think are memorable enough to be on a tier list. But I wanted to not go through all the effort of making my own, so I used one that somebody else made. What are you going to do? I heard, Twin Peaks Fest is going on right now, too. That's pretty sick. I've never been to one of those. They were going to do one in Memphis that was actually, like, officially organized. And it got canceled because of COVID. But I was living in Memphis at the time, so I was stoked. For some reason, it was going to be at Graceland, which I always found a little weird. This never wants to go in this package back into it. But I'm determined. Look at that. It's just sticking out the top. Anyway. Guys got anything to add here? I'll set this to the side for now because it's just bumming me out. So the special features, as far as I know, that gold set's the only place you're going to get some of them, like the SNL special features and the coffee commercials, the Georgia coffee commercials, which is worth having that set for me alone. I actually did not get the new Z to A yet. I ordered it through Amazon, and they've just been messing around with that thing for so long. Like, nothing's happening. So, definitely going to be getting it eventually, though. I do already have the Return here, which is one of my favorite sets. It's just so cool, that artwork, man. And this has a bunch of excellent special features as well. Like disc 8. There's like just hours and hours of behind the scenes footage. Willem Dafoe's Fruitcake. I mean, it's kind of appropriate looking at Lynch's other work like Wild at Heart. I don't know what exactly you meant when you said that. However, I do love Wild at Heart. But this has like the performances and everything. Most of the special features out here, I think all of them actually are transferred onto Z to A, so that's pretty cool. I've also got a bunch of Twin Peaks VHS. The first one is this one, which I got for like 10 or 15 bucks a couple years ago off eBay. I didn't even realize that it was the International Pilot because I wasn't that deep into it yet. I was just a casual fan, I guess you'd say. Now I'm fully sold, but I did a whole video scanning this tape in and talking about it and everything as well, which I thought was really awesome. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense. I can see that. That is something to consider, I suppose. I was just never a big Elvis guy, you know what I mean? Makes sense, but... And I lived there for a while. Then we've got the glorious full set here. Now, there is another set that's like just season 1. But these are, if I'm not mistaken, they were done in LP mode, so they are not as good quality. 235-minute tape right there. And let's see, I don't even know for sure if this has the pilot on. I don't think it does. I think that was the thing that was happening with the rights. You had to get this and that. Am I remembering that correctly? I don't even know. Either way, the pilot was separate for so long, like, even though it's technically the first episode. Like, it's some weird stuff that went on there. I don't have Fire Walk With Me on VHS, and unfortunately it's going up in price lately, which I'm not excited about. Now, I've also got some soundtracks here. I went into Goodwill so much. The guy there started to recognize me, and he saved this for me and just gave it to me for free, but it's the original cassette tape soundtrack. He was just like, oh yeah, I found this in the back, and I was just like, yeah, I'm going to give it to that guy. And he has no idea how much this little cassette meant to me. It was perfect. I already had the CD here. Oddly enough, I don't have the vinyl. I want to get vinyls, but don't have them for this. I do have the Fire Walk With Me CD as well, though. These are really cool. Somewhere, actually, I've got the Lost Highway soundtrack on CD as well. And I'm a big fan of that. Like, I know as far as Lynch goes, Lost Highway, I think the opinions on it have grown the last 10 years. All the new fans of Lynch, like, appreciate Lost Highway more than at least people initially did back then. Twin Peaks has the coolest releases, I feel. Yeah, no, I agree. That the original Z to A box set was cool. I don't have the other DVD sets, but I want to get those as well. The original ones they released. I think there's some commentary tracks on those that didn't transfer over to the other releases, and I'm pretty sure including the new one. So, love your channel, great videos. Thank you, Gra. Am I reading that right, Gra? I need glasses or something. Shit, I'm getting old. I just turned 34 last month. Bummer. There's some other cool random stuff in here in my collection that I don't think I've shown off on the channel before. I have done a Twin Peaks physical media collection video, so this is kind of just a repeat of that. But this, take a close look. It says, the mystery of who killed her became a national guessing game. But who was she and how did she die? And that's a little flip that opens up. Has a little coffee and pie and tape recorder and everything. It's sick. That's so cool that he just gave it to you, Willem says. Yes, it was. I was stoked. I rarely find Twin Peaks stuff out in the wild. Like, I'm not a big pop figure guy, but I have, I think, Audrey and Bob, because they were on clearance for like $2.50 at Target, and I was like, just because it's Twin Peaks, I'm going to get it. But this opens up, and it's a full Twin Peaks display. Now, some of you might even be members of Twin Peaks log posting. I was posting it in there, showing it off to somebody the other day. And this just bums me out more because I don't have Firewalk with Me on VHS, because I want to kind of hang this up and put that on display next to it, you know. This is really cool, though, because it has this this little set. Here, I have to avoid talking to the mic here. Can you see that there? There we go. It's like a shirt, a mug, and a thermos that say Twin Peaks Firewalk with Me on them. And they, those are pretty expensive items these days on eBay. I would like to get them in the collection someday, but... And then on the back, there's Twin Peaks trivia. You guys want to play? Number 1, FBI Bureau Chief Gordon Cole is played by whom? Come on. Kyle MacLachlan has been in what other David Lynch films? Come on. What actor has a guest role in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me as Sam Stanley? That's Kiefer Sutherland, isn't it? What type of tree is the log lady's log? See, if it isn't a Douglas fir, I don't know. Why couldn't Harold Smith chase after Laura when she dropped off her diary? Because Bros can't leave his place. Pretty interesting stuff, though. Twin Peaks fact. It is rumored that the exploding television in the opening scene is Lynch's commentary on the fate of his television show. Twin Peaks fact. In the series premiere, Agent Cooper states to his recorder that he wants Albert Rosenfield on the Laura Palmer case, not Sam Stanley, Kiefer Sutherland, who was never in the series. I actually caught that when I was rewatching the pilot last night, which is crazy. Like, I never noticed that they referenced Sam Stanley in this before until last night, and it's cool that it's confirmed here on this. Twin Peaks fact. It is suspected that the character Bob was named in tribute to the Bob's Big Boy restaurant chain, one of Lynch's favorites. Now that's sick. I mean, I'm sure you guys all saw, if you're huge fans at least, of the Big Boy out in L.A. and all the tributes to Lynch. Yeah, I don't either, guys. Like, it has to be Douglas firs. Let me see. Actually, there's the answers are on here. A ponderosa pine is what it is. Holy shit. We're not real fans. Interesting. Well, anyway, this is one of the coolest things I own. There's a certain guy on eBay who I like to buy from. He has a lot of interesting Twin Peaks stuff. There is a couple of, well, this is sort of Twin Peaks related. It's why I bought it anyway. This is not one that they used in the show or anything. Oddly enough, my brother recently bought one that they did use in the show. It was they used a bunch of different models, but I can't remember the names of them. But either way, one of them was voice activated, and they used it for close-ups during the scene with the bird when Leo kills it and stuff. But this one I just found and was like, I need to have one of those in the collection. I used it once and recorded a little bit of his monologue, and that's the only thing that's on here. But it doesn't work great, so it sounds like really wonky and stuff. And there's no batteries in it right now, or I'd play it for you. But it kind of sits in there in the Twin Peaks shelf. I'm a little bit of an arts and crafts guy, too. I came across these little coaster log things, basically, at Dollar General. And they're like, yeah, buy them and paint them or whatever. So I did that on one side, and I did this on the other. Now, obviously, it's hand-painted, so, go easy on me. I'm not like, professional. But I figured having a couple Twin Peaks-themed coasters is pretty cool. Because I do have a couple Twin Peaks and David Lynch mugs. I have a Winkies mug that my girlfriend got me. And then I just have a chevron pattern mug that's not Twin Peaks exactly, but like, come on, what are you going to do? That's sick. And then there were also these little wooden signs that you could buy and paint on. And I, again, I'm not a great painter, but it was fun. It's definitely something I had fun doing, and these are Dollar General projects. So, I spent less than $10. I bought all this at once. Just something fun to do, because there's not a lot of Twin Peaks merch out there. There's a lot of different handmade stuff you can get, but... Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Those are... When I saw those, I just immediately, my brain went to Twin Peaks, and I was like, I gotta make some Twin Peaks coasters for these coffee mugs. It's gotta happen. I got some other David Lynch releases we can talk about here. I did stack these over to the side. So we've got Wild at Heart on VHS. Yeah, it's actually a Blockbuster copy as well. So that's cool. Wild at Heart is not my favorite David Lynch movie by any means. It's probably one of my least favorite. That being said, it's still great, and I still love it. But it's not one of, like, if I'm like, I need some Lynch, I don't ever go and pull out Wild at Heart. But I do love Nicolas Cage. I love Laura Dern, Willem Dafoe. So. But I found this one for like $1. No, I totally agree. It breaks my heart that there's not enough Twin Peaks merch as well. Like, oh my God. They've licensed some weird and stuff over the years, but yeah, the Great Northern Hotel keychain, like, they have officially made those, and you can get a ton of unofficial ones. I don't have one, but I would like to get one. I'd also like to print off a picture of Laura Palmer. I don't know if you noticed I am wearing the Who Killed Laura Palmer shirt today, but I'd like to print off one of those and have it framed, hanging around, Actually, in our living room, we have a big chevron pattern rug on the floor, and I'm like, what do you think about some red curtains in here, sweetie? Luckily, she's into Twin Peaks. I got her into it, but luckily, she digs it, so. Also, David Lynch VHS. This was the first VHS of his I bought, again, for $1. Dune. Now, Arrow video stuff. Actually, I think I'm pretty limited on Arrow. I have one thing pre-ordered from them. I have the Deep Blue Sea 4K that they're putting out. I'm a big Deep Blue Sea fan. As I'm sophisticated. I like David Lynch, but I also like some really trashy and weird movies, girly movies, all sorts of shit. But I do have that pre-ordered. I did just get the Rumpelstiltskin Terror Vision release, which is really nice. I'm just really this year getting back into physical media that isn't exclusively VHS. Um, Years ago, I started a DVD collection when 4K was just brand new, and I didn't get into it yet. Only started buying 4K this year. I have a very limited 4K collection. I can actually grab that and show you in a minute, but I'll finish this David Lynch stuff real quick. Those are the VHS. Okay, got big stacks over here. Anything from Vinegar Syndrome? I think I do. I have Tammy and the T-Rex that they put out for sure. See, some of that stuff is like, it's a little more standard looking, like the Tammy and the T-Rex release. It's this just the regular Blu-ray release, and I really loved that. I was so happy when that came out and they put that out. I want to get more into boutique stuff. I'm pretty selective with it just because it's usually pretty expensive. I usually go quantity over quality, which is not a good. Sorry, I got like the hiccups or something here. Is not a good thing. If I have a movie already on DVD or even VHS, depending on the movie, I won't upgrade. I'll buy something else because I'm pretty limited with funds. But sometimes I upgrade stuff. My favorite movies, I'm trying to collect all on basically every format. And stuff like Twin Peaks, I'm getting everything. I want to get the laser discs too, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. That'd be sick. Anyway, Eraserhead. This is clean and remastered plus extras. This was put out by Absurda, 2005, distributed through Subverse Cinema Inc. Pretty cool release, though. I mean, there's a lot of different releases of these. I don't have... God, the only one I have on Blu-ray is Dune. That's insane. But I think it was just because that's the only one I bought, like, new. A lot of these I bought used. I am constantly looking and debating when I'm going to upgrade and in what order of these movies, because, like, Blue Velvet, Mulholland Drive, Lost Highway, I think are my three favorites. And I need Firewalk with Me, probably. I already have it on Blu-ray, but I'd like to get 4K if they ever put one out. Elephant Man. Very interesting movie. I saw this for the first time as a kid, actually, and didn't really reconnect it with Lynch until later in life. The Keep. Yeah, I heard that The Keep was very interesting, and I was seeing a bunch of people talking about it on their channels. I didn't get around to it. I'd like to check it out, though. There's some more TerrorVision releases that they've been putting out that I'm like, kind of want to check that out. They did a WNUF 2 this year. I didn't even know that happened until I saw them putting it out, and I'm like, God, I kind of want to check that out. Has one of the special features is the Purple Stuff podcast guys doing probably just an exclusive podcast, but that's awesome. I love those dudes. I'm actually trying to get, I think Jay from Sludge Central is going to come on this channel at some point. Probably one of these live shows, maybe not live, I don't know, we'll see. The Doom Blu-ray. Pretty sick. Ironically, the only Blu-ray. But Blue Velvet, I watched that the night Lynch died. Or at least the night we heard. It's pretty much a huge bummer. There's a little dust on these. Whew. Wild at Heart, of course. And this is the Kino, right? Kino Lorber release? Yeah. I think this is the first Kino pickup I got years ago. Pretty sick. Saw Blue Velvet and Mulholland Drive at my local cinema with a friend. Amazing nights, yeah. I've seen one of David Lynch's movies, at a theater, I mean. But not, because I was not during an original run, let's say. A few years ago, one of the local cinemas here did Fire Walk with Me, and I had to go to that. So I have seen Fire Walk with Me in a theater, and that was a hell of a time. Lost Highway, again, one of my favorites. That soundtrack is great. Balthazar Getty is. I never particularly was in love with him in this, but then seeing him again in The Return, solid. The Keep is a weird movie, says Gra. Lots of production problems, and the movie suffers a lot for it, but it's got this simultaneous dreamt and gritty quality that almost feels like watching Blade Runner. Oh, okay. I could go for that. I do like Blade Runner. That's one of those movies I need to dig deep into all the different versions of and figure that out. Because I've got a Blu-ray, I think, a DVD, and a VHS. Two of them are the same version, I think. The VHS, I want to say, is the director's cut. What's up, Retro Tibron? Oh, Darwin wants to snuggle. Next up in the Lynch DVDs, The Straight Story. This was one of the last ones I got for obvious reasons. It's not like bad or anything. It's a completely different vibe. Still a great movie, though. If you haven't seen it, just pull the trigger. Oh, you subbed because I got the new Rumpelstiltskin 4K. Hell yes. I did a video 8 months ago talking about Rumpelstiltskin DVD being one of the rarest DVDs I owned because it was expensive as hell. And I bought it when in 2005 or 6 off of Amazon when I had my first job at a movie theater. Used for $3 or $4. And never looked back. But then that 4K finally came, and I got to compare the DVD and the 4K, and that was so satisfying. I got the VHS from TerraVision coming too, so I need to order a Rumpelstiltskin VHS original and do a side-by-side with those. That'd be very interesting. DVD, director's cut DVD is best in your opinion. Blade Runner, right? Yeah. God, I probably need to look into that and do a whole video on it. That way I don't waste my time looking into it. Of course, we've got Mulholland Drive. Classic. What my favorite thing about Mulholland Drive, my favorite fun fact, is that this movie gave us Miley Cyrus. And specifically by that, I should say Hannah Montana. It gave us Hannah Montana, which then in turn gave us Miley Cyrus as a pop star. And I'm a fan. Just, I know not everybody is or anything, but it's funny. Billy Ray Cyrus was talking about how David Lynch put the devil in our family. I'm like, hell yeah, dude. It's sick. Inland Empire. Awesome. Again. I would really like to add, I think there's collections out there of his short films. I'd like to get those and add those to the collection. You had a copy, sold it 10 years ago for nothing, bought it again and sold it again. Yeah, I actually saw a copy of it right after I got my 4K copy. I was in a Half Price Books, and I saw the DVD they had on sale for $40, and I was like, interesting. I impulsively I want to grab it and hold on to it because of what it is, but I did not. Hold on, let me grab some more shit to talk about. All right, I just grabbed all the horror 4Ks that I have so far. Which is not many. I have a couple other regular ones that aren't in here. I only have my VHS collection and all my spooky stuff in this room, and then all my regular movies are out in the living room. So Darwin, stop that. I've seen all of his movies except for Inland Empire and Dune. I've only seen the theatrical cut of Blade Runner. Still, yeah, I love Blade Runner, regardless of the version. I think it's great. Um, it is interesting though. I'd like to know which version I think is best, so I'll have to dig into that sometime. Anyway, 4Ks. The Scream original trilogy set. And then it also comes with the Blu-rays, which are the old Blu-ray. So it's not like the Blu-ray is a scan of the 4K like some releases are. And I actually like that simply because I want to have different versions. CM says, in the Inland Empire Blu-ray from Criterion is really weird. Very crummy AI upscale. Sometimes looks okay, but wish they would have included the original. But that's interesting. Makes me glad I have the DVD. That sometimes happens, though. I hear about stuff like that with the 4Ks all the time. I don't know. I do have a steelbook with a slipcover of The Ring. This is pretty cool, I thought. I didn't have it on Blu-ray yet. But this is a 4K. Now, I think this movie is best watched on VHS. I have a couple copies on VHS myself. But I went ahead and picked it up anyway. I was just starting to get some 4Ks, and I was like, all right, that's cool enough for me to pick up. Got any Cronenberg stuff? Not on 4K yet. I do, though. I'm a huge, well, I say huge Cronenberg fan, but to be honest, I'm pretty picky with this stuff. But Videodrome specifically, one of my favorite movies. Every time I go into Barnes & Noble, I see the Criterion version of it, and I'm like, do I want to get it? Do I want to pull the trigger on that? Because I have the DVD, and I think it looks great. What's some other one? I got Scanners. I think I just have the DVD of that as well. I have Crimes of the Future. Oddly enough, just the DVD. I don't know why. But whatever. It's a good movie. I liked that one. Yeah, I'm a big Cronenberg fan. I need to explore and see some of the stuff that I haven't. What was the other one that I have that I really liked? Well, I don't know if I say I really liked it, but Naked Lunch. Naked Lunch is fucking weird. That one's awesome, though. Show that to some people. Of course, I picked up the Nightmare on Elm Street 4K this year. Did a comparison with that. Ringu versus The Ring. Okay, I finally watched Ringu last year sometime because I just had never had the opportunity to see it. I did not love it. I need to watch it again. It was so close to the original that it was like I wasn't paying enough attention, I feel like. Sometimes, watching movies at home, you ever do this and you find yourself on your phone and you're like, fuck. God damn it. What am I doing? I should be watching this. Videodrome on 4K looks fucking awesome. Okay, well, that sounds good to me. That's like my favorite of his too, so I might have to pick that up. What's my favorite VHS tape I own? I'll get to that in just a moment. I have some signed VHS tapes. I picked up Alien Romulus on 4K, which I thought was interesting. Didn't love that one, but it is in my top 4 Alien movies. How many fucking Alien movies are there? And then the Rumpelstiltskin 4K set that just came in. Ugh. Love having that. It's one of my favorites now. Favorites in the collection, I should say. I do love that movie, but I'm not pretending it's better than it is. Did grab The Shining on 4K. I know they recently did a steelbook for it, but I just picked up that version. Haven't watched that one yet because I had already watched it during the first snowstorm we had this season. But maybe next year I'll do a side-by-side. This was one of my favorite pickups from the year. Drag Me to Hell. Now, a lot of people don't like this artwork. I'm one of them. But I got it anyway, and I actually found out after I was home that it's kind of like dent and damaged on the bottom, but whatever. The scan of that 4K looks excellent. I have the DVD as well. I love that movie so much. There are no words. The Substance. I did pick up the 4K Blu-ray. My girlfriend got it for me for my birthday, so I was pretty stoked to get that. Haven't watched that 4K yet because I actually got the VHS a few months ago. This is made by a guy who creates these called Death by VHS. You can find him on Instagram or his website. Now, it's very interesting. It's converted to 4:3. He pan and scanned the whole damn thing. The artwork's pretty cool. The tape itself is awesome. The scan looks great. I did a review of this as well, just talking about it because I love new VHS. You know, it's over on the shelf next here to Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3. And the last 4K in the horror collection is the thing because, come on. Actually, I also have Lost Boys, but that's out. It's out in my living room because I'm planning to do a Lost Boys VHS versus DVD versus Blu-ray versus 4K at some point. All right, Darwin. Hold on. Let me grab some more shit for you. Oh, a Substance water bottle that says activator. That's pretty sick. Yeah, we ordered a print offline, put in a frame. We have not hung it up yet out in the living room, but stoked for that. Here's some of the coolest tapes in my collection. If you don't know, I'm a huge Twister fan. Yeah, this one's Darwin. The black one is Yoshi. Gra said, as my wife likes your cats. I like them too. They're great. It's a signed copy of Twister. To Alec. Look at that sky, it says, which is not the line. Got his own line wrong on the tape, which is funny. But that's Sean Whalen's signature. He's in that movie. He's riding with Cameron from Ferris Bueller, Alan Ruck. Again, I'm a big Twister fan. I got that during the 25th anniversary in Wakita. Me and my brother do a podcast as well called Strange Glow Video. And we traveled down there for that and did a podcast out of the Twister Museum. And I got the tape signed by him and also Wendell Josepher, who's the woman in like the little hat in that movie. There's some lower ranking, so it's not like I got fucking Bill Paxton or Helen Hunt signing this, but still cool. I like to get VHS signed. It's kind of like my thing now. There's actually another con this month. I might be getting Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard added to Scream on VHS. That would make me happy. Carla Gugino's going to be there. Might have her sign Son-in-Law. But I do have Zach Galligan sign my copy of Gremlins. It's one of my favorite things in the collection. Oh, the Bill Paxton house set is great. So was the Twister, the Experience, or whatever it was called at Universal they used to have back in the day. That was fun. Now, as far as favorite VHS goes, this is definitely the number one. It is a signed copy of Lost Boys. So my podcast that I do with my brother called Strange Glow Video. I know this is a lot to explain, but used to be called the Frog Brothers Podcast. We thought people would understand that reference. We're brothers. People, even at a Lost Boys convention that we went to, didn't understand why we were called the Frog Brothers, even though it's characters in the movie. So we were like, all right, we got to change the name. But we went and we actually hosted the panels at this like 25th anniversary, 35th anniversary reunion when they were releasing the 4K and stuff. So we got on here Corey Feldman. Um, he was a little elusive that weekend. He was also like part of the thing was a concert. So I actually was in the VIP section at the Corey Feldman concert watching him perform drinking with Jason Patrick. It was the weirdest time of my life. Who also signed here, Jason Patrick. But here's the funny thing. He said, Jason Patrick, never grow old again. And then he signed again, Jason Patrick. And when he did that, he looked down at it and realized, but then just kind of like, like he looked at it like, oh shit. And then he just handed it back to me. I was like, whatever, that's funny. Also, G. Tom Mack, who is Gerard McMahon, is his actual like old school name that you might know him by. He did the theme song, Cry Little Sister. He was there. He signed it as well. And Billy Worth, who is that guy, that vampire, with the long, luscious locks. And Alan Frog up there himself, Jameson Newlander. And we had interviewed Jameson Newlander, been talking to him for a while. He's obviously one of the Frog Brothers. And Corey Feldman wanted us to pay him to do an interview with us, and we were like, no. But we did get to interview everyone else. So we have like a 30-minute interview with Billy Worth talking about like spiritualism and meditation and all this stuff he's into. Kind of interesting. And then there's a panel, like we have the panel that you can see, and I got to literally they served us beers while I'm on stage with Jason Patrick, and I was just asking him questions about Speed 2 cruise control. I kind of bothered him about that. I don't know if he liked it or not, but I love Speed 2 cruise control. So there's a few other signatures I'd like to add to this. Alex Winter wasn't there. Kiefer Sutherland is doable. Sorry, my cat's pushing buttons. I don't know what's going on. Hello. Am I here still? Darwin, you're pushing buttons. Okay, I can't tell. Shit. There we go. Fucking cats, man. Let me know if we're back, guys. If you can. Okay, good. It looked like my audio was gone for a minute there, but another one of my favorite movies. I like a lot of these weird 90s movies in particular that are comedy movies, but they're very dark in nature. But they don't present that way necessarily. But like, if you think about it, they're pretty fucked up. For example, Weekend at Bernie's. And I have that signed by Bernie himself, Terry Kaiser. And he's awesome. That was at the same convention Zach Galligan was at, and I walked up to him, and he was in his Bernie outfit. It was awesome. And I handed him the tape, and he was like talking about, oh, this is cool. I haven't seen one of these tapes in a while. And I was like, yeah, dude, I love this movie. I was like, I love it so much, you don't know. And he signs it. I tell him my name, which is Alec, obviously. And he signs Alex. And then his handler is like, he said Alec with a C. And he just looks right up at me from signing the tape. He's holding it in his hand still and goes, fuck. And then just like draws a C over it. So if you can see that, it's pretty funny. But I love Weekend at Bernie's. That's such a good movie. Second one is, it's okay. It's all right. It's watchable. Anyway, I know this is the Twin Peaks show. I'm just talking about other shit, but whatever you guys want to talk about, I'm down. If you got any more questions, I can always grab some stuff from behind me, too. Hold on. Leprechaun 3 we're going to be reviewing this month on VHS because it's the only Leprechaun movie I have on VHS. But Warwick Davis is coming to this convention that's here this month. So I might be getting this signed. This is one of my favorite ones. Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun 4, and In the Hood are my favorites. Maybe hot takes, I don't know, but it is what it is. If you see any you're curious about on the shelf behind me, let me know. Jack Frost. What's my favorite season of Twin Peaks? I mean, it's probably going to be season 1, right? It's probably the best. There's moments from season 2 I like better, and the return is great. But yeah, probably season 1. I mean, I think it's universally agreed that season 1's better than 2, although a lot of people dislike 2 more than I do. I think the worst plot line that's in season 2 is shit. The Evelyn and James subplot. That one's trash. However, the plot with Nadine going back to her youth and all that, I love that plot. I didn't like it at first. It's hilarious to me now. What's another one? Oh, the Ben Civil War subplot. Like, a lot of people hate it. I love it. I eat it up now. Yeah, no, the returns, it's something special. It's one of those things that came out and we were kind of like, I don't know if I like this exactly. It wasn't what we expected for sure. Lynch knew that. Lynch was very aware of that. It was intentional, even. There's a certain subplot, or not a subplot, a moment in Twin Peaks that I think is like a metaphor for the entire show and how the fans are taking it. And it's that coffee scene when Dougie, not Dougie, but Cooper, who everybody's calling Dougie, is drinking the other guy's coffee. And the assistant guy's like, all right, here, we'll try this like green tea latte. It's an extra. And the guy's like, I don't want this. That's what we were thinking watching like the first 2 episodes of the show. This is not what we wanted. This is not what we ordered. We want the coffee, not the green tea latte. But then we start sipping on it, and he starts smiling. And he's like, holy shit, this might be better than coffee. And that's, I think, how a lot of us felt. At least, that's how I felt. Yeah, I don't know. The return's just, it's something special. The special features on there alone, and all the David Lynch it gave us. Who gives a fucking shit how long a scene is? Guy's great. Cat scratching around. Yeah, for sure. That's what we all wanted, was more Cooper, but we did get 3 roles out of Kyle MacLachlan in that. Yeah. I still don't know how to feel about that last episode. Cats are up to shenanigans. Sorry, I'm like making sure there's nothing too crazy going on. But, yeah, that last episode, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to stop at 17 and be like, all right, it's concluded. And it was goofy and great. Because I think that's part of what 17 is. It's like, this is the ending all you fuckers want. There's a goofy guy coming in here and punching Bob as he's a sphere. And it's ridiculous. But the next episode is like, obviously just more Lynchy what the fuckery. And I've seen people try to explain it and stuff, and I have mixed feelings on it, but like, I'm not saying it should have ended differently or anything either. If anything, I only wish we could have gotten more Lynch projects, like the Netflix one that he was working on, Wisteria, or whatever the other title was. I know there's another title for it, but there was some other stuff going around possibly, but, you know. Come on the lap. Don't be pushing buttons. Oh man, I never thought of it like that. I hate when people trash on the return. I had a teacher who really hated the Dougie stuff. Well, that's funny. I actually got an internship at a recording studio shortly out of school because of my love for Twin Peaks, I think. Because the interview was like 5 minutes long, and then we just talked about Twin Peaks for 2 hours and about the return and everything. Not jumping up there, buddy. And he ended up hiring me, so that was cool. He was a big Lynch fan. He actually had the original, some of the original stools from the Double R, or at least from the time they were filming, and the original circular countertop front. They like had torn it out and just like had it in the back, and he bought it from them. Just had it like casually hanging out in the studio. It wasn't even like set up. It was just like against the wall out in the lobby. It was weird, but cool as hell. Yeah, no, I can see that. The ending is his way of making sure it would never actually feel over. That's the thing. I mean, after. See, I watched Twin Peaks for the first time in like 2011, 2012. And even then, I waited 5 years. Now that's not 25 years. But I imagine a lot of people, when Fire Walk with Me came out, I imagine its reception was so bad, was because it didn't continue Cooper's story and what the fuck happened to him. I feel like people were just pissed about that. I probably would have been. I don't know how I would have felt about it at the time, but now I think Fire Walk with Me is great. There's a famous Tarantino quote where he said that Fire Walk with Me, David Lynch had disappeared far up his own ass. And sometimes I think about that quote while watching it. It's great though. I still love it. There's parts in that movie that are just magical and terrifying. Let me see here. Well, I appreciate everybody sticking around. We'll probably go for another 10 or 15 minutes at least, depending on how long the chat goes. But let me show off some more tapes in the meantime. This is a pretty cool one. Probably sells for 60 to 80 bucks. I got it for $1. I'm not going to sell it. A sealed copy of Scream, but it's the Courtney Cox cover, obviously. Did I say Courtney Cox? Jesus Christ. It's because I was reading her name on the front, Nev Campbell. But pretty cool. You can tell it's the original seal because it has the Dimension sticker on there still. If David Bowie was alive, it would have been cool to see him as not a big kettle. No, that I agree. I think he was in talks to do it, but he was just too sick, unfortunately. What a legend, though. You know, here's an interesting one, too. I recently learned that this tape is worth a lot. Didn't know it, because I bought it thrifting for like $2 and was like, sick. I like the Blob. Jameson Newlander, the guy who I've interviewed several times on my other podcast, he's in this. He's not even listed on the back here, though. He works at the movie theater. He's like an usher. But he has some cool scenes, though. Here we go. Here's a cool one for you. Just because it's one of my favorite covers of all time. And while we're getting into controversial takes with this one, I love this movie. Jason Takes Manhattan is maybe my favorite Friday the 13th. And I'm not saying it's the best. I think my favorite, like, what I think is the best is part 4. I can't defend this opinion. It's just it's the first Friday the 13th movie I watched as a kid, okay? That's why. So it's like burned in my I'm nostalgic about it, you know? Japanese horror VHS. That's interesting. I've actually been I'm always looking at Twin Peaks VHS on eBay, and I see a lot of Japanese Twin Peaks tapes. And they're actually, some of them are for sale in the U.S., so you don't even have to have them shipped from Japan, so it's pretty sick. Thinking about picking up one or two here and there. I do have, what are these, Korean tapes? A fan sent me some fan mail a while ago. They sent me some cool random tapes, but hold on, let me grab some of these. Now I'm saying they're, yeah, exactly. Jason takes a boat. Exactly. I love boats. I don't even know if these are fucking Korean, to be perfectly honest, because I don't know the language. I can't remember how I came to that conclusion. But either way, here's a Korean, maybe, copy of Jerry Maguire. And these are cool. The tapes are cool on all of these. Like, they're super cool looking. Like, look at that thing. Look how bright that is. And just like the design on the tape. I don't know if you can see the texture there. There we go. That's a good look. Pretty sick. I have not played Deadly Premonition. I have heard about it, though, being in Twin Peaks groups and circles. What is this? The Chamber? See, like some of these, a couple of these, I don't even think I've seen ever. But cool boxes. They're all colored, too. They're a little bit bigger clamshells. This one's got like a navy blue top there. Yeah, I have a couple others. I just grabbed like 3 random ones in Love and War. Like again, the red. And some of these tapes, look how that opens up too. Look at the detail on there. It's pretty interesting stuff. Oh, and this one's cool too. The tape is blue and the top part is red. It's probably not showing up as blue hardly, but it's a darker blue, see. There we go. But very cool tape. Like, look at that. That's just fun. Sick. Love to see it. I think they're obviously rentals. I think that's what's going on with the cases and stuff. But also, I don't know for sure. Because if you ask me, this is possibly a, like, Korean rental sticker, right? I don't know. I have a whole bunch of, like, really weird tapes in the collection. Maybe we'll go through them sometime in another, maybe that'll be another Gruesome Tuesday episode, but everything from dancing grannies, like workout tapes, UFO tapes. I collect any weird, like, Christian propaganda tapes that are talking shit about Halloween or computers or the year 2000 Y2K tapes, 9/11 documentary tapes. Tapes are just fun, aren't they? What else we got around here? Nothing too crazy. Although I am going to be reviewing Final Destination on VHS pretty soon, because the new one's coming out. I gotta probably review them all before the new one drops. I'm pretty excited for that one. Yeah, so recently I found a copy of the Alien Autopsy Fact or Fiction. I did a whole review on it because it was just worth it. That's such an odd movie to have a Korean. Yeah, Y2K era stuff is great. Oh man, UFO tapes from the 90s are the best. I mean, I have a couple other ones as well. I have a whole one on crop circles. I have a couple different tapes talking shit about Halloween, which is funny. I have a self breast exam video. How to perform a breast exam at home. Oh, I have some pretty cool aquarium tapes. Like, it looks like your TV is turned into an aquarium, you know? I'm just looking at my shelves because I got another one of these racks over there on that wall. It's mostly filled with movies, but there's a few obscure ones. I also collect television recordings. That's one of my favorite things for commercials. And there's nothing more nostalgic than putting like a broadcast of a movie on that has old school commercials in. Yeah, Willem, I know what you're talking about. I even referenced X-Files in that. I throw an X-Files clip in that video I did just because they referenced it directly. They're like, this is even hokier than the video that aired on the alien autopsy that Fox aired. Oh, I was saying about television recordings, though. It's the commercials and stuff. The problem is a lot of stores will just throw those out and not even sell them. They're pretty hard to come by. I have a couple from my actual childhood and families, stuff, but yeah, I saw your video on alien autopsy. It was awesome. Since I haven't mentioned it, love this channel. One of my favorites I found. Well, thank you, CM. I appreciate it. I've been trying to expand my audience. I'm trying not to get stuck doing just physical media because I feel like that's a little too small of a hole. But I do love physical media, so there's sometimes I'm just gonna do them. Like that alien autopsy, I kind of knew posting that it wasn't gonna hit with everybody, and that the algorithm probably was gonna be like, fuck this video. And sometimes I pull the trigger on those anyway, just because I want to be able to put out content that's fun and that I still enjoy too. That I'm not just thinking about, okay, is this going to get views? Is this what they want? Which is what you have to do to be successful. So don't get me wrong, I'm doing plenty of that. There's lots of planning, but there's, I don't even know who said this, but you do one for them and one for you or whatever, two for them, something like that. You just got to have balance, so. Video like that didn't do too well, but sometimes they don't. My channel's pretty weird like that. Oh. I also did a video. I shot 2 videos today before I did this, and I cleaned the room in here kind of, But I'm going to be editing them after this. One of them is talking about Disney VHS that are actually worth money. Spoiler alert, it's not Black Diamond tapes. But we do briefly talk about those in that video. And then I did another just showing off my February physical media pickups. I feel the same. Came to your channel when I saw your Twin Peaks physical media video. Love what I've seen. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying to find people, I appreciate you sticking around, joining the live. The live really helps. I feel great that there's actually people here talking, because the first couple lives in here, I went live once and was just like talking about some Dolly Parton stuff I had picked up because nobody was in the chat. And I was just like, yeah, this is all the Dolly Parton stuff I just bought that no one on this channel probably cares about, but I'm a big Dolly Parton fan. Movies and music, and as a person. I feel like we could all kind of agree that Dolly's awesome, right? But I was showing off like some pamphlets and some old tabloid news articles. I buy a lot of vintage crap, but there's some old, like, those tabloid newspapers you used to get in the 90s. They still make them, but they're more magazine-ish these days. Some of them were talking about Dolly, and then one of them was actually pretty cool. It had a thing about Brandon Lee and how he was actually killed by the mafia and all this shit. Nonsense, but fun. The algorithm is a mysterious overlord. That it is. That it is. Yeah, no, sometimes, a long time ago, okay, history lesson on my channel real quick. I started this channel in 2022, but I was still really focused on the podcast I was doing with my brother. And I was thinking we were going to make that work. Uh, that didn't go entirely too well. We still do the podcast weekly, but we mostly just review one movie a week and talk about it casually, nothing too crazy. But I started this channel just re-uploading TikToks from my TikTok. So it was all shorts. So that's probably why my algorithm's pretty fucked up. For the first 1,000 subscribers that I got, it was almost exclusively shorts. And some of it was random. I was doing a lot of nostalgia content, stuff on movies, but I was also doing like nostalgia foods, weird soda reviews. I did a video drinking a 30-year-old Crystal Pepsi. I think that video is still on my channel. I think it might be members only now. So if you want to see that, you got to join the channel. But I did a couple other ones. I drank a 27 or I don't know, a really old Jolt Cola as well. I was trying a bunch of different things. YouTube doesn't like that, obviously. But that first 1,000 subscribers, I kind of had to get over that hump of what the algorithm was showing people, and it finally found it. I don't know, in October, I'd say it was the best time. I posted an ALF video, and it really worked. And then physical media people started finding the channel, more movie people, so I think we're doing good right now. The Twin Peaks videos, how I found the channel. Yeah. Well, I was hoping, because that video did so well, I knew that I'd have a bunch of people interested in talking Twin Peaks. And here's the thing, Ghostbusters, Twin Peaks, ALF, these are some of my favorite things. And some of my top performing videos on the channel were Twin Peaks and ALF related, and I was just so stoked. I was like, finally, it found a good audience, so I'm going to have some people who are interested in Twin Peaks, so I can have excuses to talk about Twin Peaks, and there'll actually be people who give a shit, subscribed, and ready to watch. So thanks for joining in. I appreciate that. The Pepsi was fucking awful. I threw up in the video. I don't think I showed it on screen, but I saw an older woman today wearing a black shirt with a white text. I swear it said Danzig, but it was Dolly, even better than Danzig. Exactly. I'm pretty cultured, I think. But yeah, I started about a year ago taking the channel more seriously and doing long-form content, and I had January of 2024, I had about 1,000 subscribers. And I stopped really posting many shorts. And if I did post shorts, they were directly related and more in the niche. And then I was doing some videos. I did like a brief history of the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab. I was doing a little more broader nostalgia content still. And then I did some specific horror videos. I don't remember. I think Nightmare on Elm Street was the first VHS I reviewed, I think. And then I was like, ooh, this is a thing. Because I can review old movies, and that's something I love doing, but it brings something new to the table with VHS. Because people can see the old commercials before the VHS. They can see the framing of the VHS. They can get a little of nostalgia out of it themselves, hopefully. And so the VHS reviews were big. And then I started doing a couple other DVD and Blu-ray things here and there on interesting things. Another one that hit recently was the Final Destination 3 Choose Their Fate. I did like a whole thing talking about that. And that was super fun. Did you end up seeing Hard Eyes? Not yet. I want to see it still. Thing is, I might just wait at this point until it's on physical media and then review it. Just because I don't know if it would do well now. Did Freddy's Nightmares get a physical release? I don't even know. I don't think so. If it has VHS releases, so there's a couple of like hits out there. I don't know if it ever got anything past VHS though. I was recently looking at the Friday the 13th series. I think I want to add to the collection Tales from the Dark Side, Tales from the Crypt, and Friday the 13th, the series on DVD. I don't have any of those, and I would like to add those. So I've been perusing around, and I was thinking about Freddy's Nightmares, but I didn't look to see if it even had one, because I didn't think it did. Because another thing I'm into is Carl Sagan, and I've been looking at VHS releases and DVD releases of the original Cosmos, and they're out there, so I think I'm going to pick those up soon. That's something I'm big into. And then Unsolved Mysteries has some very interesting compilation DVD sets out. I might try to pick it up and pick one or two up and see what they're like. There's one for Ghosts and one for Aliens that I'm interested in. I watch it all the time on Tubi, but the packaging and everything, I don't know. I'm a physical... I don't have to explain to you guys. So the Disney video is probably coming out tomorrow around 2 p.m. I usually drop my videos at 2 p.m. if it's a weekday. If it's a weekend, I try to do them around noon. But in closing, I want to say thank you, everybody, for joining. Thanks, everybody in the chat. Gra, Willem Dafoe, CM. No, there were some more people talking. Not forgetting. Crazy, am I? Giat. Ben Gammon up there at the top. Dude, that rules. Willem Dafoe got invited to a costume party last minute and went as Carl Sagan just because I had a turtleneck. I feel like I could pull enough Carl Sagan quotes, or I'd probably watch an episode or two, but I feel like there's enough weird quotes I could pull out of my ass if I was to dress up as Carl Sagan. I am going to be starting to do a little more members content soon. I do have a Patreon, or you can join the channel as a member. I'm not posting a lot on there currently. There is some exclusive stuff, and you always get early access, at least on the members for sure. Once there's some more people joined up on Patreon, I'll be posting regularly. Other than that, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for joining in, everybody. That is going to be it for the night. Drop a like on the video if you haven't yet. And thanks for stopping by. We will probably be back live next Tuesday. I'll be posting about it in the post feed or on Instagram. If you guys don't already follow me on Instagram, please do. That's where my most reliable updates are and everything. So, hello, Tatum. That is my girlfriend. Love you. Anyway, I will be out of here in just a moment. Yeah, that's it. Good night, everybody.